The year is 500 AD. You live in the sixth largest city in the world, a metropolis of 125,000 people with pyramids larger than those in Egypt. A civilization so influential that its culture spreads across Mesoamerica, and we still don't know who built it. Welcome to Teotihuacan, the city of gods. That's not what you call it. That name was given by the Aztecs 900 years after this city was abandoned. What you actually called it? Lost to history. Your language? Unknown. Your writing system? Still undeciphered? Your rulers? We can't identify them. Teotihuacan is one of history's greatest mysteries. A civilization that dominated Mesoamerica for 600 years, then vanished. No royal tombs found, no obvious palaces, no inscriptions naming kings, just monuments so massive that the Aztecs believed gods, not humans, built them. You wake in your apartment compound, not a house. Teotihuacan's residential architecture is unique. Multi-family compounds housing 100 people each. Extended families living together in complexes with central courtyards, religious shrines, and shared spaces. Urban planning on a scale that won't be seen again in the Americas until modern times. Outside, the Avenue of the Dead stretches 3 miles through the city's heart. The Pyramid of the Sun, third largest pyramid in the world, rises 216 feet to the east. The Pyramid of the Moon anchors the avenue's northern end. These aren't just buildings, they're artificial mountains, cosmic symbols connecting earth to sky. Teotihuacan's influence reaches across Mesoamerica. Maya cities 1,000 miles away show Teotihuacan architectural styles. Trade goods from Teotihuacan, obsidian blades, pottery, religious items, are found from central Mexico to Guatemala. This is cultural hegemony, achieved without apparent military conquest. But here's what makes Teotihuacan truly mysterious. It will collapse catastrophically around 550 AD. The center will be burned deliberately. The population will disperse, and for over 1,000 years the ruins will stand empty, waiting for the Aztecs to discover them and create myths about gods who built pyramids. Right now though, peak of power, peak of influence, peak of mystery, the sun rises over the pyramids, painting them orange and gold. Time to begin another day in the city of gods. Brief pause, ambient sounds of ancient city life. After morning rituals in your compound's shrine, you walk to the Pyramid of the Sun. Even after living here your entire life, its scale still overwhelms. This pyramid is massive. Base covers 500 feet by 500 feet. Height reaches 216 feet. Volume of 1.2 million cubic yards. Built entirely by hand. One basket of earth and stone at a time. No wheels, no draft animals. Just human labor, organization, and ambition. The pyramid sits over a natural cave. But not just any cave, a sacred cave, possibly representing the origin place of humanity in Mesoamerican mythology. The pyramid was built to mark this cosmically significant spot. Pilgrims climb the steep stairway. It's exhausting, 248 steps to the summit. But the view rewards the effort. From the top, you see the entire city spreading in all directions. The urban grid is visible. Streets laid out in perfect alignment with the pyramid's orientation, which is precisely 15.5 degrees east of true north. That orientation isn't random. It aligns with the sun's position on specific dates important to the agricultural calendar. Teotihuacan's entire urban plan is a cosmic diagram, mapping earthly space to celestial order. On the summit, priests conduct ceremonies. The temple structure here isn't original, it's been rebuilt multiple times over the centuries. But the rituals continue. Offerings, incense, possibly human sacrifice, though evidence is debated. The exact nature of Teotihuacan's religion remains mysterious. What's clear, this civilization worships gods related to water, fertility, warfare, death. The storm god, later called Tlaloc. The feathered serpent, later Quetzalcoatl, a great goddess, war serpents. The iconography appears throughout the city's murals and sculptures. But no god-kings, that's the puzzle. In Maya cities, rulers are depicted everywhere. On stelae, lintels, murals. They name themselves, celebrate their victories, display their power. Teotihuacan, almost no such imagery. Was this a collective leadership? a theocracy without individual rulers, a system so different from other Mesoamerican states that we can't recognize it. You descend the pyramid, passing vendors selling offerings, copal incense, obsidian blades, small clay figurines. Religion and commerce intertwine. The sacred and the economic aren't separate spheres here. From ground level, the Pyramid of the Sun looms like a mountain, a human-made mountain, a statement of power, piety, and engineering prowess that will stand for 1,500 years. Ambient wind and city sounds fading out.
The Avenue of the Dead, the spine of Teotihuacan, 3 miles long, 130 feet wide, running north-south through the city's ceremonial core. The name is wrong, by the way. The Aztecs called it Avenue of the Dead because they thought the platforms lining it were tombs. They're not. They're temple platforms, administrative buildings, elite residences. But the name stuck. You walk north toward the Pyramid of the Moon. The avenue isn't flat. It rises and falls, creating dramatic perspectives. The builders designed these elevation changes deliberately. Standing at certain points, the pyramids appear to float above the horizon. Ceremonial theatre on an urban scale. Platforms line both sides. Some support temples, others are palaces, though palace might be the wrong word since we're not sure Teotihuacan had kings in the traditional sense. Whatever these buildings are, they're important. Access is restricted. Elaborate murals cover interior walls. The Ciudadela, the citadel, sits east of the avenue. A massive sunken plaza surrounded by platforms holding the Temple of the Feathered Serpent. That temple is spectacular, covered in sculptures of feathered serpents and war serpents emerging from flowers. It's Teotihuacan's most ornate structure, and beneath it, archaeologists will eventually find mass burials. Over 200 individuals, many bound and killed in what appears to be a massive sacrificial dedication. Teotihuacan's power had a dark foundation. But that's hidden below ground. What you see is grandeur. The urban plan speaks of order, control, cosmic alignment. The city is organized into quadrants. The Avenue of the Dead forms the north-south axis. Other avenues create east-west divisions. Residential compounds fill the grid spaces. Everyone has their place in this order. Your compound is in the southeastern sector. Craftspeople, you work with Obsidian, live in specific neighborhoods. There's ethnic diversity too. A Oaxaca barrio, where people from southern Mexico live. A merchant's barrio with foreign traders. This isn't just a city, it's a cosmological diagram made physical. Walking the Avenue of the Dead is walking the axis of the universe. The pyramids aren't just buildings, they're sacred mountains where earth meets sky. You pass a procession, priests in elaborate costumes, musicians with drums and flutes, attendants carrying offerings. A ceremony is beginning at the Pyramid of the Moon, perhaps marking a calendar date, perhaps honoring a god, perhaps celebrating a military victory. The crowd gathers, thousands of people filling the plaza at the pyramid's base. You join them. This is community. This is shared ritual. This is what makes Teotihuacan more than just buildings. It's a living civilization. Though its days are numbered, in 50 years flames will consume these buildings. But you don't know that yet. Midday, and you return to your workshop. You're an obsidian craftsman, one of thousands in Teotihuacan producing the volcanic glass that drives much of the city's economy. Teotihuacan controls the obsidian sources at Otumba and Pachuca, 30–40 miles away. Obsidian, volcanic glass, is the sharpest natural material available in pre-metal Mesoamerica, sharper than modern surgical steel when properly worked, essential for cutting tools, weapons, ritual objects. Your workshop specializes in blades. The technique is specialized, taking an obsidian core and striking it with precise pressure to remove long, thin flakes. Each blade is razor sharp, used for everything from cutting rope to surgical procedures to ritual bloodletting. The work requires skill and concentration. Obsidian is unforgiving. One wrong strike and the core shatters. You learned from your father, who learned from his father. Craft knowledge passes through families, creating hereditary specialization. Teotihuacan's workshops mass-produce obsidian goods for export across Mesoamerica. Blades, scrapers, projectile points, ceremonial items. Trade networks carry these products to Maya cities, Oaxaca, the Gulf Coast. In return, Teotihuacan receives cacao, feathers, jade, pottery, textiles. This trade brings wealth. Your compound is comfortable, multiple rooms, a courtyard with a shrine, plaster floors painted with mineral pigments. You're not elite, but you're doing well. Specialized craft production creates a prosperous middle class. The workshop is communal. Your extended family works together. Grandfather shapes cores. Your brothers strike blades. Your wife polishes finished pieces. Children learn by watching. It's efficient, productive, social. You notice green obsidian in a corner, the rare, highly valued variety from Pachuca. This goes to elite clients. It's used for ceremonial items, status symbols, offerings to gods. Regular gray-black obsidian serves practical purposes. Green obsidian is precious. A trader visits, examining your inventory. He's from the Maya region. You can tell by his accent and clothing style. He wants 500 blades for a Maya lord. Negotiations begin. Price is calculated in cacao beans, the standard currency. A good blade costs 10-20 beans. A fair quality cloak costs 100 beans. A slave costs 1,000 beans or more. The deal is struck. Your workshop will produce the blades over the next month. The trader will return to collect them. He'll travel 1,000 miles back to Maya territory, where Teotihuacan obsidian is prized above local sources. This is how Teotihuacan dominates Mesoamerica. Not through military conquest, though some military power certainly exists, but through economic control. Teotihuacan produces what everyone needs, creating dependency and influence. Your craft is part of that power. Each blade you make extends the city's reach. Each transaction strengthens the network. You're not a soldier or a priest, but you're building empire nonetheless.
Late afternoon, and you return to your compound. Residential life in Teotihuacan is unique in Mesoamerican urban planning. The compound houses about 60 people, your extended family. 3 or 4 nuclear families sharing space, resources, ritual life. The compound covers about 2,000 square feet, built around a central courtyard open to the sky for light and ventilation. The architecture is sophisticated. Walls are stone and adobe, plastered smooth. Floors are packed earth or plaster, sometimes painted red. Roofs are flat, made of wooden beams covered with stone and mortar. Drainage systems channel rainwater away. The design is practical, adapted to the high-altitude environment. Your family gathers in the courtyard. Women grind corn on metats, grinding stones, preparing tortillas and tamales for the evening meal. The smell of cooking fills the compound. Corn, beans, squash, chili peppers. Sometimes meat, turkey, dog, rabbit, deer. Diet is primarily plant-based but supplemented with protein. Children play with toy figurines and small ceramic animals. These aren't just toys, they're teaching tools, miniature versions of adult items. Learning through play, as in every culture. The compound shrine occupies one corner. Images of gods painted on walls. An altar with offerings, copal incense, flowers, small clay figurines. Religious practice is household-based. The great temples are for public ceremonies. Home shrines handle daily devotion. You notice fresh murals being painted in one room. Teotihuacan apartment compounds often have elaborate wall paintings, geometric patterns, religious imagery, scenes of nature. Some scholars think these murals indicate the compound's occupation or lineage affiliation. Craft guilds might mark their spaces with specific symbols. Social organization in Teotihuacan is puzzling. The compounds suggest collective living. There's hierarchy. Some compounds are larger, better located, but it's not extreme. No massive palaces. Was Teotihuacan more egalitarian? The lack of identified royal tombs suggests something different. Maybe power was corporate, held by councils or priesthoods rather than individual kings. Your grandmother tells stories, oral histories passed down through generations, myths about gods creating the sun and moon here. In these stories, Teotihuacan is eternal. History doesn't care what's thinkable. Early evening, and the marketplace near the great compound is still bustling. This is Teotihuacan's commercial heart, where goods from across Mesoamerica are bought and sold. The variety is staggering. Obsidian blades from local workshops, pottery, some local, some imported from distant regions, cotton textiles in various qualities and dyes, cacao beans from the Gulf Coast, used both as beverage and currency, feathers, brilliant green quetzal feathers, scarlet macaw feathers, each with specific symbolic values, jade from the Motagua Valley, shell from both Atlantic and Pacific coasts, rubber balls for the Mesoamerican ball game, copal incense from lowland trees, salt, dried chili peppers, vanilla, exotic animals, macaws, jaguars in cages. Trade networks extend over 1,000 miles in every direction. Teotihuacan merchants travel or maintain outposts in distant cities. Foreign merchants establish quarters in Teotihuacan, the Oaxaca barrio, the merchants' barrio where Gulf Coast people live. Currency is primarily cacao beans, standardized, portable, valuable. You watch negotiations. Bargaining is expected. A vendor offers fine orange ware. A buyer examines it skeptically. They settle on a price. 50 cacao beans. The market is also social space. News spreads here. Information about distant events, warfare in Maya territory, drought in Oaxaca. Traders are information carriers. You notice Maya merchants. Their presence is significant. Maya cities 1,000 miles away show strong Teotihuacan influence in architecture, pottery, religious iconography. Teotihuacan was the trendsetter, the cosmopolitan center. Maya rulers adopted Teotihuacan styles to enhance their own legitimacy. Some think Teotihuacan ruled Tikal for a time. No Teotihuacan inscriptions name these events. The military power remains invisible, except for mass burials beneath the feathered serpent pyramid, which suggest martial capacity was real. A child runs past, chasing a dog. An elderly woman haggles over peppers. A priest in ritual costume walks through, and vendors bow their heads respectfully. Ordinary life in an extraordinary city. The sun sets, painting the pyramids orange. The market begins to close. The sun sets, painting the pyramids orange. Tomorrow, a new cycle begins. For now, for a few more decades.
Night falls over Teotihuacan. Torches light the Avenue of the Dead. Fires burn in compound courtyards. The city settles into evening routines, families eating, children sleeping, priests conducting nighttime rituals at the pyramids. You sit on your compound's roof, looking at the stars. The same stars that guided the city's astronomical observations. The same stars that determined when to plant and harvest. The same stars that will watch this city burn. Around 550 AD, just 50 years from now, something catastrophic will happen. The ceremonial core will be deliberately destroyed by fire, not accidental fire.
deliberate burning. The elite compounds along the Avenue of the Dead will be torched, religious statues will be smashed, the city will be devastated. What caused it? We still don't know. Internal revolt, the non-elite rising against rulers, class warfare destroying the symbolic centers of power? Possibly. The burning was selective, hitting elite areas hardest. External invasion, enemy forces conquering and destroying the city? Maybe, but there's little evidence of foreign military presence. Environmental collapse, drought, agricultural failure leading to social breakdown. Climate data shows possible drought periods around this time. Food shortage could trigger collapse. Maybe all of the above. Complex societies rarely fall from a single cause. More likely, multiple stresses, environmental, political, social, economic, converged. Whatever happened, Teotihuacan never recovered. The population dispersed to smaller settlements. The Great Pyramid stood empty. For 900 years, the ruins were abandoned, silent, mysterious. Then the Aztecs arrived. They saw the pyramids and couldn't believe humans built them. So they created myths. The gods gathered at Teotihuacan to create the fifth sun, this cosmic age. The pyramids were where gods became celestial bodies. The city was named Teotihuacan, place where gods were born. Those myths obscured the truth. Teotihuacan was built by humans. Sophisticated, organized, ambitious humans who created one of the ancient world's great civilizations. Modern archaeology has revealed much. The urban planning, the trade networks, the engineering prowess. But essential mysteries remain. Who ruled? What language did they speak? What did they call themselves? Why did they leave no written history? Those questions may never be answered. The civilization remains silent about itself. What survives are the pyramids, the apartment compounds being excavated today, the murals showing gods, priests, processions, the architectural styles that spread across Mesoamerica. But Teotihuacan's days are numbered. The fire is coming, the mystery will deepen. And 1,500 years later, archaeologists will still be trying to understand who you were. Mysterious perhaps forever.